is up? Welcome to The Drop. It is episode number 4. Quinn Bishop. Here he is. How you feeling, buddy?
Hey, we're doing good. This week, Saturday's Record Store Day, which is what we're going to talk about. We're always very excited about that. You know, it's the one day, even though it's split this year into 2.
Oh, whoa, what did I just did something horrible.
I feel like I'm in the future.
I know, it's like the Twilight Zone. Should I leave that going or no?
It's a little distracting.
Probably not. All right, Record Store Day. Jeez.
International celebration of record store culture. Record stores all over the world celebrating this. And the cause for celebration with most fans is that there's, at least for this first one, the second one is on July 17th. The first one, there are over 200 exclusive vinyl releases and CD releases that will sell out.
Keep going, Quinn. You're doing great.
Hey, thanks, man. And, you know, coveted items, and some will be around for a while. A lot of music that's never been available on vinyl or even on a physical format before. So it's always, you know, it's fun.
Right.
We're not able to do the things that we would normally do. Usually we have DJ sessions, we have in-store performances, we have complimentary St. Arnold beer. We're not able to do that. We're hoping by the next one we'll be able to get that in gear.
Yeah,
Post-pandemic. But for right now, it's a great day just to venture out to the record store. And, you know, in Houston, I will say this before we even get going. If you're a record fan, vinyl fan, music fan, living in Houston, Texas, you're very fortunate because you have several just spectacular record stores. There's cities across America that don't
have
really
nothing.
Have nothing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
that's a good point.
Get out there and see them all on Record Store Day.
All right, let's jump in, man. Let's get the first pick out of here and do it.
Well, you know what? 80s music is so popular.
Yes,
I thought
sir.
we had to lead with that.
Let's do it.
A couple of the coveted pieces that are coming out. The Police Live. Again, these were records that came out, I think, in the 90s. There's a show from very early on when the second album came out, and then there's a show from the Synchronicity Tour. So 2 separate LPs. These were previously only available on CD, a best-selling title. So fans are going to be excited to finally get this music on vinyl. And it's funny, before these were announced, like I was listening to them in the car with my son. I mean,
right.
The 79 show is just, it reminds you what a great band.
Yeah, so this is Volume 1, Boston. Looks like the Orpheum, 1979. That's crazy. That's nuts. I love the Police, so that's a good one.
Good stuff. And then, you know, the only reason I love Joe, but I had to throw, I love Joe, I love the Clash, but I threw this in there because we do this thing around the store, Sleeve Face. You're aware of this?
No.
Where you just pick a record and the image is proportionally sized to where you can do something like this.
Oh, how cool is
this
that?
Is a good one. This Joe Strummer picture disc
Look
for
at that,
Record
man.
Store Day.
All right, Clash fans, Strummer fans. And you know what I always loved about this man? He made me feel not so bad about having an abnormally large forehead.
Do you have one?
It's all forehead.
He's got a lot of forehead.
He's got a lot of
forehead. Drive
yeah,
movie
but,
on
I mean,
thing.
I will never look, 1/100th that cool.
So that's a cool piece.
All right.
There's a long, keeping with the 80s, ongoing series of Cure. They're doing all the Cure albums on picture discs. The latest one is Faith. There's another one coming out. I think Wild Mood Swings is coming out in July. But that's
super
right
cool.
now.
So in case you're wondering, yeah, man, great stuff on here. It's just so good.
It's before they became chart superstars and the records were dark and cool.
So of course I don't remember, but it was Simon Gallup's birthday the other day, and then he was like, Simon Gallup turns. I was like, how old?
Yeah, it's
he
best not
still
to
looks
read.
amazing though. That last run they did. I remember they posted some of that concert. I mean, he looks fantastic.
I don't know. They're drinking like monkey blood or something.
Yeah.
Keep
Something
them young. I
special
don't
to
even know.
keep him young and virile.
And there's always a
viral.
slew of classic rock records for Record Store Day. And,
all right.
So let's talk about some of those. Tom Petty, Angel Dream. Now, fans are familiar with this music because it was the She's the One soundtrack.
Oh.
Which was ill-advised to package it to where it was the soundtrack for the film instead of a new album.
Right.
A lot of this music was from the Wildflower sessions, so it's been reconceived, repurposed as intended for release as just an original album. And it doesn't have a picture of Jennifer Aniston or whoever on the cover that was in the film. Because the problem is the film sank without a trace, and unfortunately, that meant a great album sync without a trace. So they're kind of,
I'm sure Petty fans are ready to snatch that up.
oh yeah, it's going to be good. And here's two records that will, I think one of them was only available on vinyl in Europe.
Okay.
But the two Warner Brothers Steely Dan records.
Let's go one at a time.
Which are, I think fans really dig those. But, first time to grab them here in the States on vinyl.
Yeah.
And for a band that sold like more albums than I have blood cells, it's
I have a major, super enormous Steely Dan fan in my life, and he would love this.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those cases where they made a record after being away for decades, and
so
seemingly
cool.
went well.
So cool.
Look at how cute this picture of Joni Mitchell is. The LP she put out a box set of all her early recordings,
right?
And Estate endorsed, so she participated in it. And this is a best of the box set on vinyl.
What's interesting listening to and I'm always flipping back and forth and listening to Sirius satellite or music blogs or whatever, or podcasts or whatever. And I've recently started listening to Questlove Supreme on.
Oh yeah.
I listened to the Todd Rundgren one the other day. It was amazing.
I love Todd.
So I'm always listening, but Joni is coming up a lot now in conversations. I don't know if we're in the middle of some sort of Joni renaissance or something, but
there's a little bit of that. I mean, she's had some health issues that derailed her, and I think that kind of. But I think when you have artists that actively engage in their catalog and work through representing it to fans, it gives you a bump. In your profile, for sure.
Right. I am texting my producer real quick here because, and she's listening, I know. Text me the link to share. So I just got rid of the second camera there because I was getting this weird audio thing. And if you guys are watching, and if you're watching it live, please hit the share button. All right. Let's go.
Right.
What do we got?
Hey, there's always a Grateful Dead box. They always put out like a 4 or 5 LP box.
Yeah, Craig Lavati, if you're watching, get your
This one's a big
out.
deal because it's one of the 72 shows, which is heralded as their finest hour of performing live. Yeah, it's a big one.
So, in case you're wondering, Grateful Dead live, Olympia Theater, Paris, France, May of 1972. Like you said, complete show, first time on vinyl, limited edition of 10,000. This thing weighs.
Yeah, you could brain
you could use it. You could use it as a weapon. God, everything's on here, man. Everything cool, or at least some of the better known to the casual Dead fans like myself.
Yeah, there you go. Well, let's jump to some heavy stuff,
dude. So excited about this one.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm 100% so excited about this one.
So this is the first time this has ever been on record, which is kind of amazing. But Rage Against the Machine,
right?
Recorded in Mexico City in 1999. They were partying like it was 1999 because it was, and fans have been begging for this thing for a while. So it's finally out, first time.
Yeah,
that's going to be.
Hang on for 1 second on that. Hang on for uno momento, mi amigo. Uno momento. So, Battle of Mexico City. Man, everything you want to hear is on here. So, gosh, this is so cool. Yeah, I posted on you saw it. I posted it on the Cactus Instagram. This weekend's going to hurt my wallet. It's
there's people that save their pennies all year for Record Store Day. This is a cool piece. Def Leppard, before they were, again, chart superstars. April 1980, a show when they were young Leppards.
And before Phil Collins, shirtless Phil Collin was in the band. Yeah. This is like, what, High and Dry era? Or,
they were part of the new wave of British metal. And those first two records, I love those first two records. I saw them numerous times.
It's melodic. It's heavy hard rock. It's just
and then there was that moment with Pyromania where they were all the dudes' favorite band.
Yeah,
one of them, and then with that record they became all the dudes' girlfriends.
So I'd go to that show, and I take my girlfriend from high school, and I go to that show, and for a few seconds, as soon as they finished the first song, right, there was a few seconds where I was like, literally all you could hear were women screaming, and I was like, maybe what not because of the quality of the band or I'm comparing them, but what one of those Beatles shows must have been like, where all you could hear was just screaming.
I think all the hairband stuff was kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like you guys.
Yeah.
Linkin Park reissue colored vinyl, aqua blue vinyl of Meteora, which is they just did an expanded huge box set of this, and but this is a way to capitalize on the anniversary of that with the colored vinyl.
And I think it was either Chester's birthday or anniversary of his passing was this week, I believe. I saw a lot of action on social.
Yeah, you know, his widow's done a fantastic job to raise awareness about mental health and, and to destigmatize it, if that's even a word. But it's a great thing.
The stuff he did with Stone Temple was really good.
I know.
You know,
it's hard to jump in there in an established band and
just,
you know, in front of that, but he did a spectacular job.
Yeah, a great band.
And you see a lot of these with Record Store Day. They love to make picture discs. This is a super cool one. AC/DC put out an album last year. Honestly, like their best record in years and years and years.
Really?
So this is the new single, and they did it as a 12-inch picture disc.
That was cool. All you AC/DC fans. That's really cool.
Yeah.
You know who was talking about this record coming out and kind of said the same thing you said when it came out, which was last year, right? Came out last year?
Yeah.
You were right before the pandemic, right?
Yes.
I think so, yeah. Eddie Trunk was just going on about how good it was.
It's great.
Like, and he said the same thing.
The one before that was like, because honestly, with a lot of heritage bands, they make records that they hope stand with their better work, but don't do their legacy a disservice. And that's kind of the area that they operate in.
Right.
They really hit the ball out of the park with this record. I think it's just beginning to end. It's what you want to hear.
It's one of those bands I've loved. I mean, the first record I bought was Highways to Hell, right? But I never saw them live.
Oh, they're pretty good.
Sad to say.
They're pretty dang good live. Hey, let's move on. Let's talk about some hip hop records.
All right.
Freddie Gibbs and Madlib. Super hot. This record has been available. They repackaged it with a cover that's
I love the cover.
Miami Vice motif.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of GTA Vice City vibe on this. You know, a little really cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh dude, and look, I mean, just the guests alone.
Yeah, for sure.
Mac Miller, Scarface, Danny Brown. Haven't heard from Danny Brown in forever. Super cool.
Yeah, the artwork's great. I mean, that's really, people have the record, but limited edition covers.
I know somebody would love that one too.
And, you see a lot of, again, records that first time that they've been available on vinyl. And this Juicy J record, talk about guests. I mean, it's just nonstop. But this is the first time this has been available on record. Obviously, a big record digitally. Now available on LP for Record Store Day. And that's one that will probably stick around. Tons of guests on there.
Did he do one of the free press sets? Or am I just hallucinating?
Oh, maybe.
He did a Houston show that I want to say I knew people that were going to. I could be wrong on this, but you mentioned who's on here. 2 Chainz. God. Megan Thee Stallion. Wiz Khalifa. I mean, it just goes on and on.
Yeah, I think there's a guest on average.
There's like 20 features on there.
Yeah. So we got that working.
All right.
And this is one of the kookiest things that comes out on Record Store Day. There are now 3-inch record players, and this is the smallest thing we're going to talk about today, but it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Starbase and MF Doom on a 3-inch record.
Just cut it out.
Yeah. But you got to.
It looks like a refrigerator magnet.
Yeah, it does look like.
Where do you get a 3-inch record player?
We sell them.
Good.
The company, Crosley,
serve that up.
In Deer Park, that makes the, that probably most of the turntables that are sold in the States. It's designed after a Japanese 3-inch record player that was kind of a thing in the 80s.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd never seen one. I saw it at a convention. They're like, hey, top secret. We're going to launch these in the States,
Right.
and we're going to get licenses to put out.
Does it play like at
Full
45 or 78, or I mean,
I
what
think
is
it plays at 33.
33?
Honestly, I don't own one. We sell a lot of these. They did Sun stuff. They did.
And they make them in Deer
Park.
Park. Is that what you just
Oh,
said?
that's the name of the company.
Okay, I was like, good lord.
It's the cross.
Why don't I know this?
Not Deer Park. How about
Why don't I know
Florida?
this?
But yeah, this is a kooky thing. I think most people are buying them just to collect them. And I don't know. How
That's
people buy them,
nuts.
but
That's nuts.
it's a nutty thing for sure.
I'm sorry I keep looking at my phone. I'm looking for this link to share and I just can't find it. I'm doing something totally wrong. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. That's us talking.
It's so nice to share.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Let's just, yeah, sorry. Keep going. Keep going.
Right.
Keep going, Quinn.
One of my favorites, Toots and the Maytals.
Dude.
This is reissued on colored vinyl. This is one of his, you got to own this record. This is one of his finest records, which actually he painted his masterpiece multiple times. But Toots Hibbert passed away last year.
Right.
COVID death. But, he was up there. But, a big loss. But it's funky. And there's great quote from Lester Bangs on the Obi strip. That's one thing they do for Record Store Day. A lot of times they'll make these cool, like, paper strip
right
associated with the Japanese record market, but
so cool.
Great quote from Lester. I'll let you.
Yeah, sure. So the guy that kind of created, I guess, rock journalism,
Yeah.
right? Perfection, the most exciting and diversified set of reggae tunes by a single artist yet released.
It's heavy.
Wow.
And I know I understand the cultural significance of Bob Marley, and I know people tend to gravitate to Bob, and Peter Tosh. For me, it's about him and Jimmy Cliff. Those are my guys. It's very soulful, very kind of emulating Motown and a lot of the American R&B music. That's a terrific record.
It's an amazing record.
And what does it say? Something special about the? Does it say, it just says limited color vinyl, and you can go to recordstoreday.com and read about details about all of these.
That's a good point. So if you don't know anything about Record Store Day, that's a good thing to know about.
So current artists release a lot of music for Record Store and use it as a launch pad for new projects.
Right.
A band who's been away for a while, Garbage, terrific band.
Shirley Manson.
They have Shirley Manson. They have a brand new record that's coming out, I believe, next week.
Yeah. But
it's an opportunity for them to put out a limited edition version of it on Record Store Day. So this is their new album, No Gods, No Masters, and it's on clear pink vinyl. There will, of course, be a regular black
I haven't heard any
record.
of this yet.
You know what? A lot of releases there might be a track or two out there. They're embargoed, meaning that the content really isn't available online for you to listen to because they want to make a splash with the record. Because they're a record band, they're not a track band.
Right, exactly.
It's a big deal when they put out a new album.
It's been
they
years.
want people to hear that.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard Garbage and somebody was telling me about it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Butch Vig's in that band." I'm like, "The Butch Vig?"
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, the Butch Vig." I was like, "Okay."
It's kind of a producer's band. I think everybody in the band.
Everybody, yeah. The other guys,
guys.
except for there's the Volume did a thing on the album, and they didn't talk to Shirley, but they were talking about how she auditioned for the band, which I don't remember 100% of the story, but she like met the guys at a bar. And
She's tough.
They talked for a little, I'm just like drinking pints or whatever, and I think they basically said you're hired.
Yeah, well, she was in this band that went nowhere.
Yeah.
This band Angelfish. They made one record for MCA, and she was way too big for that band.
Right.
So good to hook up with those guys. Again, more new music. So this band is crazy popular. My son loves them.
My daughter loves them.
Does she?
Yeah.
All right. 21 Pilots, new music, 4 new tracks, some live stuff there. New EP for Record Store Day.
21 Pilots, man. Yes. Yeah, move some of this out of there. Cool little studio shot in there. If you're a fan, for sure.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that are in line just to get that release.
Wow. Weren't they was it last year or the year before they were like best rock act at the Grammys? Didn't they win like best rock?
I think so, yeah. I mean,
okay.
Long history of them goofing up
Sure.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is probably the record. It's a little surprising because I don't necessarily associate her as a vinyl artist.
Right.
She's mostly a digital artist. this hands down is the most excitement on social media for Record Store Day releases, and it's the Ariana Grande 3LP
Wow.
live album. There's also a limited edition CD of this as well.
Yeah.
That is coming out, but yeah, people are going nuts for this. I think too, her profile is very high with everything that's happening with her.
Of course, man. Now this is crazy that she drops this though. Three
LPs, man. That's
final
old.
albums, man.
And, first live album. For artists that do a lot of dates. I mean, I think fans almost buy live albums as souvenirs.
And you've got a track. You've got Nicki Minaj on here and Childish Gambino. So if you don't know about it, now you know about it.
Yeah, and that is one of the titles. It's going to sell out on Record Store. People are going to be looking for this thing.
That'll be gone.
There's another one that pretty much fits the same bill. Lady Gaga, Chromatica. This is her latest LP.
Look at that thing.
The cool cover, right?
Now that's a cover. That's crazy.
It's
like some metal album.
Yeah,
I think that's what she was going for sure. Yeah.
So the first vinyl pressing of that, when the album came out, is long gone. We've been having to source it from Europe. So there'll probably be a regular version of it at some point. But this is, I should know these things, shouldn't I?
That's nuts. And in case you're wondering what the back looks like, there's nothing on it.
There's nothing on it.
It's kind of cool.
Don't look back there.
But you get a translucent yellow vinyl, 28-page book, collectible zine, never before seen Gaga images and artwork. So you're going to get your money's worth with this one, man, for sure.
People are into that.
Yeah,
and just to be able to buy them on it, because it's you haven't been able to get it.
Right.
For months.
That's crazy. I love it.
This is a cool piece. I feel like Taylor Swift always sneaks into these things somehow.
Yeah.
But
and we haven't talked about her in a week.
The Sisters band, Haim. Great group.
Yeah. That last single was great.
Yeah, this is a 7-inch single from them, and they have a special guest artist in the track.
And who could that be? Is it Taylor?
Taylor.
It's maybe because they guested on her album, so that's like just returning the favor.
Yeah, they have a very, very loyal fan base. Haim does, so it's a good, cool pairing, and I like the thought of them just working in the delicatessen. It's kind of funny image.
Yeah, man.
And I think when they played here, and they have predominantly a teen audience.
Right.
I think Lizzo opened that show.
Really?
And
how crazy is that?
Yeah, and I think a lot of younger record bars weren't familiar with her, and that tour.
This had to be like 5 years ago, and it's just minding my own business on YouTube, and I click on this little video. Maybe it was longer than that, and it was the video for Forever. And that's how I found out about them. I'd never even heard of them. And then all of a sudden, everything I listened to was they write these perfect little pop rock songs.
Yeah, and if you love sibling harmonies, which I
do. But their songwriting is really, really good. Great band. I'd love to see them live.
All right.
Oh, they did the wasn't it the first, was the Grammys the first pandemic award show, and the bands were super spread out?
Yeah.
And
they had them play in these little pockets.
Yeah, but some of their artists started, it was almost like a medley of somebody's hits, and then Haim was set up kind of in the middle. And then
I saw a clip of that. I didn't actually see the performance.
Oh, it was so good. It was so crazy. And it had this real kind of fly by the seat of your pants kind of vibe to it, with no net.
Because
they pulled it off.
Oh, yeah, because they're a real band.
They're a real band. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the whole thing. I mean, there are artists that make great records, but how many of them are performers?
Yeah,
and,
they didn't have backup singers, somebody on keys, 2 session guitarists. It was the girls doing it.
A lot of the music that you hear, popular music that you hear, those are really producers' records. There's producers as much a part of making the project happen as the artist whose name is in the project. Let's talk about this guy, Perfume Genius. Are you familiar with him?
I know the name. Don't know the. I've heard a little bit on, I think, either XM or All Nation plays them.
Yeah.
it's
Very
just
cool
one guy, right?
Artist. Yeah. And he opened for David Byrne on that last tour. Now he'd been making cool records for a while, and it just kind of popped wide open. I think with that tour, this is a remix LP. which should do very well. Catalog is
Wow.
just kind of growing. Sales just
Yeah.
really kind of snowballing on that artist. And I
It's on
think he's
Matador.
gonna,
Yeah.
he's
Cool.
going to go places. I will say that to try to contextualize it for people that might not be familiar, which I encourage you to go listen to it. To me, it's always had kind of a Roxy music vibe.
Yeah.
That kind of
Art
loungy,
art school
cool,
kind of
chill.
informed kind of.
Yeah.
All those British art school kids.
Yeah, and wild live performers. There's a lot of good video content
Nice.
out there.
Nice.
We're going to end on some great soul records.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. This Donny Hathaway live
Man.
record, everyone should own this Donny
Jeez.
Hathaway live
Oh my God.
record. You know, and because he died so young, I think
Yeah.
he kind of doesn't.
It's like, you imagine
People
what
don't
this guy
know
would
him
have
in the
done.
way that people don't know him in the way that they
It's
know
ridiculous.
Mark Gay or Al
Right.
Green. But you know, he was
And he was poised to like
phenomenal. Yeah, he was
hit that
ready to break
he was
through.
to hit that stratosphere with
Absolutely.
all of those guys. You
And
know?
this live record's got it. It's just like you know what you want. There's live albums that are souvenirs of tours, and then there's live albums that just transcend what the artist has done prior to that. That's one of those.
Another
records.
live recording from from the early 70s. This one at the Troubadour and the Bitter End at New York City. So you're getting both coasts.
You're getting both.
I love
And there's
that.
going to be a companion piece for this at the second record store day, which is July 17th. There's an Aretha record from the same period.
If I walk up tomorrow, don't let me through the door.
Well, there's
I'm
always
glad you helped.
possibility.
Right? Sure. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Yeah.
So we're you know what we're going to
So
end
glad.
with
I'm
Prince.
so glad. Yeah.
This is a very cool record. It's recognized by fans as it's kind of an acoustic record, and the material is the songs that were on that Crystal Ball
Right.
project. That when that came out, it was an exclusive. I think with Target. You know, records were just kind of popping out of nowhere by him. I don't think any of those later records really got their due. I think they were a little confusing for fans, but this has been a fan favorite. These alternate versions of the song with him really, you don't hear a lot of that in the demos of him just playing guitar and singing. So it's a very cool piece, and it's one that's going to go quickly.
That's nuts, man. Can't go wrong. Can't have too
Pace
much.
it apart.
You cannot have too much. Is that one of the out of the vault deals?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You know, so they're clearing out his estate. I think they're still trying to, it's still in probate. They're still trying to figure all that out.
Right.
But the vaults are open.
He
and
was
they're
on,
doing-
but
they're curating
he
these
was. I know
releases.
Paisley Park was its own thing, but weren't they connected to a major?
So if from what I understand, to get out of his deal with Warner's, he had to provide them access to the recordings. That's why we had these expanded
Right.
versions
That's where I was going.
of all these
That's where I was going.
classic Warner's
That's
records.
exactly where I
Because
was
he had to
going with
allow
that.
them access to the vaults, and that's the first time. That's just been a
Yeah.
treasure trove if you're a
Yeah.
fan.
So now,
And so now you're starting to see from the later works all this stuff coming
Yeah.
out, and I think the licenses are all going to move to Sony next year.
Yep. And more to come. Lots.
more to come.
Yeah. If you're a Prince fan, I mean, it's horrible that it's tragic that we don't have him around anymore, but it's almost like he's producing music and it's still coming out.
Yeah,
you
he's
know?
so prolific,
Yeah.
even just based on his output,
Right.
legitimate output. I mean, forget about all the stuff that's
It's
flying
nuts.
around the vaults. It's going to be a lot of listening to do.
It's nuts. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. So here's the deal: Record Store Day this Saturday. Strongly urge folks to get a ticket online. Yes.
Well, no, you come in the store, you pick up your ticket. We do a very orderly, the fairest way that we can do it, especially with some of these limited things where there's only a couple. It's first come, first serve.
Right.
But we distribute tickets, and then we post out front which order of numbers, and everybody gets in line orderly
There you
and
go.
ask for what they want. We encourage people to have printed lists, so it makes us easy. It makes it easy for us to grab everything for
Yeah.
everybody and make their.
What time does the
rock and roll
line
dreams
form?
Well, that's why we do the numbers. There's
Oh,
no
no
actual
line.
line.
Okay, there you go.
People
See?
wait in their vehicles. We post the numbers.
I would get kicked out of here.
That can always happen.
Might happen in about 3 minutes. All right, guys, that is it. We're going to see you guys next week. Quinn, how do they find you on the socials?
Well, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram.
Cactus Music.
CactusMusicTX.com.
There you
and
go.
you can link to everything
Yeah.
from there.
And you guys know where to find me, or you wouldn't be watching this. Guys, have a wonderful weekend. Happy Record Store Day, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye. Bye.